So sorry for delay, but at the end of this video we will find out who is the winner of this shaker. A lot of our students from EBS Miami and those who learn here online on YouTube asking me a lot if they should consider working as a bartender on the cruise ship. Watch this video until the end and learn absolutely everything about working as a bartender on the different cruise ships. I'm going to cover salary, that's something I'm sure you are curious the most, also hours of work, how to find a job, how to apply, contracts, pros and cons, and other details. So get comfortable, make yourself a drink, please check if you subscribed and notifications are on, and let's go. I wanted to say thanks to all our students who helped us with information and also really cool bartenders from Instagram. I'm going to leave their info in the description. Feel free to reach out to them and ask more questions. Oh, and of course you can send DM to me anytime soon. In general, majority of bartenders I talked to were pretty happy of the job and described it as a great experience. Job where you meet a lot of people. There are like 60 different bartenders and you get to rotate between different bars. You go there through a lot of different actions. But honestly, not everyone I talked to decided to continue the contract for the second time and go there again. Okay, first let's talk about how to get a job. Your journey starts here. You decide to apply, and actually it's relatively easy to get a basic bartending job on a cruise ship, even if your English is not perfect. I'm sure there is different website, but almost everyone I spoke to, they recommended jobcruiseship.com, something like that. So that's how you start, that's how you apply, that's where you go first. After that, you will be scheduled formal interview by Skype. One of the reps will contact you, and the goal of that interview is actually to check how good is your personality and how you're capable of communicating with people. So they just ask you like simple questions, something like, hey, can you talk about yourself? So they just want to see how good are you communicating, how good is your English. And the funny thing is that one of the bartenders I spoke to, he couldn't even really do that really well. Plus, interviewer asked, since he applied as a bartender, is like, hey, what's in Manhattan? What's in Negroni? He got really nervous and messed up. So, but there was high demand for entertaining bartenders, like flair bartenders, and he still got a job even though he made some mistakes during the interview. So keep in mind the main criteria: positive person with a good communications and ready to work really hard. And I mean real hard. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. If your interview goes well, and it will go well because you're watching these videos on this channel and prepare it 1000% for everything, right? So just make sure that you guys watching all these videos on the channel. Then you get confirmation. Next, you need to go through long preparation, which include a certificate that you're capable of working on a cruise ship. You need to open a visa, depends on the port. For some it was on the European visa, and for some it was a US visa, which is a lot harder to get. It basically depends where you're applying from. By the way, this US visa is C1D1, I believe, and letting you work only on a cruise ship, as far as I understood. So basically you almost like a tourist. Let's say if you try to get a job, jump out from the cruise ship and get a job in Miami, it's just not gonna happen. Average contract is about 6 to 8 months, but also could be up to 1 year. Starting cost for like applying and everything around $600 or euro, and the company pay back to you if you work for like 6 months or so. You're gonna get the money back. And also this is, besides that, you will need to pay about $300 for your medical certificate. Company will buy you a ticket to the port of destination, but the only catch, you also need to work some certain period of time to get the money back. I believe it's like 3 months at least to get it back. There is supposed to be 3 weeks of paid training before you start working, but this is the thing, they were short-staffed and it called hot vacancy. One of the bartenders went to work straight away without long training, so he just got really lucky. It's not gonna happen all the time, and you still need to go through a lot of safety training. You watch a lot of videos, basic safety, what to do when ship is sinking. Yeah, I know, and it takes a lot of time. Keep in mind, as I understood, the whole process of prepping papers will take about 8 months total from the moment when you applied, but actually could be even longer, like 1 year or so. So don't rush to quit your job on the next day after the interview. It takes that long. Now let's talk about where you're staying on the cruise ship. Most of the time you're staying in a shared cabin with one person. It's not bad as they described, but also somebody told me that there was cruise ship with cabin shared with 6 people, which really sucks. But real inconvenience is Wi-Fi. Yeah, inconvenience, because how else you gonna watch my YouTube videos, right? Depends on the ship. Wi-Fi cost from 40 euro for 5 gigabytes and was pretty slow actually. And on the other ship was like $7 per hour. So I'm never gonna complain again about our American Wi-Fi. And once you're moving up in the position and becoming like head bartender or manager, you can have your own cabin. And they told me it's actually not that hard to move up from bartender, if you want, of course. Now let's talk about the bars you're working at. First month, you go through a lot of general training and bar trainings on the cruise ship. If you are new to a bartending job, there is a chance you will start at the crew bar first. Maybe even with experience, you still need to start kind of on the bottom. And after working for a while, you will be able to move to regular better bar, and eventually you will be working at a mixology bar where you make handcrafted cocktails. Everybody said these types of bars and crowd who hanging out there are by far the best. Work hours. And that's the funniest part of the job on a cruise ship. Ready? I honestly heard before that it's pretty hard to work on the cruise ship, but I totally didn't realize that you working without days off and you work 10 to 12 hours every day. So you have short breaks, but your actual shift is 12 hours. And in some cruise ships it could go up to 14. So for example, if there a place you really wanted to see, like in Pacific Island, or you just wanted to stop by in Miami and say hi to us at the EBS, and here's the thing, but your ship arrived during your work hours, forget it. There is no chance you will go to see it, just because it's absolutely impossible to leave during your work hours. It kind of sucks. There is no such thing as working at one bar and get your regulars all the time. Most of the bartenders rotate all the time, at least once every 2 weeks. If you work at the cool bar and like it there, like your guests, they like you, guest who always comes to get cocktails from you, you still can stay there for entire time, and I believe rotation is every 2 weeks. Let's talk about rules now. Of course, there is a lot of rules on the cruise ship. Too many supervisors, and they have to keep strict discipline at all time. You actually allowed to consume alcohol, to drink, like party a little bit during your off hours, of course. But there's like some special doctor on the cruise ship who can check your level of alcohol before you start working, and it exceeds maximum level. Actually, in fact, you will lose a job. You have to go through absolutely insane deep cleaning a lot of times, and there is special services come on board in certain ports, make you get rid of like absolutely all fruits, and everything have to be spotless. And the spotless they described like it's just a deep cleaning, and it's really hard. Oh, and speaking of fruits, by the way, sometimes bartenders need to prepare backup, so you work as a barback, cut limes for all bars. Basically, there's like a side duties as well, and it's not fun, but you have to do it and pretty much work like a barback. Let's talk about your favorite topic, money. The thing is, what makes this job even harder, yeah, I know, like besides 12-14 hour shifts, is basically like everywhere else, guest is the king. But the difference between guests who just cool and come for your bar to get new drinks and new experiences, and the guests on the cruise ship that second paid up to like $10,000 for this like super VIP package, expectations are really high. But tips not so much, since a lot of money was already paid, so it's already expensive, and the guests just tip very little. And most of the guests use card system where they don't even have cash on them, and they need to do like swipe their card, open tab, and drink for like as long as they want. And you guys working really hard. Don't forget, cruise ship fits like over 2,000 people. You gotta pour a lot of drinks. Of course, depends on the cruise, but a lot of time you get envelope with money at the end of the trip. Guests are like super cool, they really liked you, and you was very entertaining, was going above and beyond service, so they give you like envelope with some money. But still, tips supposed to be shared with bartenders you worked with, which is okay, but on some cruises tips had to be shared on entire bar crew. One of the bartenders who helped me to make this episode mentioned that it's not the best system, since some people just not trying as hard as the others, and it's clear, like let's say after making $400 dollars, he ended up having less than half of it after splitting with everyone. So you know the situation when you try really hard and then just another guy at the bar just hanging out and just don't do too much work. Actual salary and total amount of money depends on the cruise ship, and total amount of money you make per month depends on the guests a lot. And a lot depends, for example, if you're working on Alaskan cruise ship, it's much higher than the average. But I can tell you that lowest was around 1,500 euro per month salary and something like 400 euro or dollars in tips. The highest was going over $3,000 for like some really cool cruise ships like Celebrity Cruises or Carnival Cruises. Yeah, that's it. It's something that you definitely will make working less in some bars in Europe, not even mention bars in America. But don't forget, during that time, you don't have to pay for your stay and food is also included. You're just not supposed to spend money at all. Let's sum it up. You can't really say if you like it or not until you try it yourself. Some bartenders told me they did only one contract and decided not to do it again, but others actually said it's the best job ever, the best job they ever had, and they 100% enjoyed, so that they can choose how long you can stay on holidays, and were very satisfied with pay. But majority of them worked in like a really good premium cruise ships. You get to meet a lot of people. It's very international, diverse crew from all over. It's not like your local bar where you always get to serve the same people and work with the same crew for a really long time. Some cruises offer discounts for family. So yeah, if you get discount for a cruise ship, make sure to let me know so I get to go for vacation. Make sure to let me know, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If it was helpful, please give it a like, share this video with someone who needs to know this information, or if you may be planning to apply for the cruise ship, at least I covered some things that are pretty important for those who's deciding whether they should just apply at a regular bar or go on a cruise ship. And now let's choose the winner of this awesome shaker. Make sure to check links for the best bar tools in the world in the description. Follow me guys on Instagram, and I will see you in the next video.